Welcome to Better with Brii Renee, the podcast where we get real, get honest, and get better, one conversation at a time. Here we talk all things family, faith, finances, and everything that just feels good to the soul. This is your safe space to grow, to heal, and to elevate. Because better isn't about being perfect, it's about being intentional. So whether you're working on your mindset, your money, or your relationships, you're in the right place. So let's keep it real, keep it light, and most importantly, keep getting better. Because better starts with you, starts with us. It starts with Better with Brii Renee. Welcome back to another episode of Better with Brii Renee. Of course, I'm Brii Renee, and this is the podcast where we get real, get honest, and get better, one conversation at a time. And of course, we got to start off each episode with a better perspective. This perspective was not necessarily triggered by something I've seen online, but by something I feel like that needs to be said and understood. Some of y'all just don't quite understand this, but all relationships, whether it's a romantic or platonic relationship, should be beneficial, okay? And they will not always be equally beneficial. Sometimes you'll be in seasons where you the big sister. Sometimes you're going to be in seasons where you're the little sister. Sometimes you're going to be in the season where you're the one doing all of the pouring. And sometimes you're going to be in seasons where you're going to be the one who needs to be poured into. But I feel like if you genuinely love somebody and that's your person, whether it's your sister, your friend, your homegirl, your boyfriend, your romantic partner, or whoever it is, if you love that person, then it shouldn't matter what season y'all are in. You should be willing to ride through that wave with them. Like, I feel like some of y'all get in relationships or friendships with people, and the moment they need you, you ready to check out. Or the moment it's been a season or a time where you feel like, dang, she needs something. It's like, do you love her? Are you her sister? Y'all, is that your homegirl or not? Like, I'm gonna ride with my homegirl whether she in a good season or a bad season. And that's why y'all don't be deserving to be on the up and up with people, because you ain't ready to be on the down and down. Okay? Because I've been their friend, especially in these past couple years in my life. I have been the friend who unfortunately have had the rough, tough seasons. And I have been the one where it was even hard for me to lean on my friends or be honest about the fact that I needed them more than I ever have needed. But thankfully, I have been surrounded by genuine people who were okay with the fact that I needed them and were there to show up when I needed them the most. So I'm grateful for that. And I love those people who do get it, but some of y'all don't get it. And like I said, every relationship should be beneficial, but it won't always be equally beneficial. Okay, let's get into today's topic. And this is one, child, I was kind of nervous to talk about, but we're going to get into it. And it's navigating breakups with clarity and just being honest and truthful and still conscious of, going through breakups. And these breakups can be romantic or platonic, because truth be told, friendship breakups be hurting worse than the romantic breakups. But we're going to get into it. Like I said, I feel like people underestimate the impact or the feeling of a platonic breakup. I have been through both. Recently, breaking up in a public relationship, romantically and publicly breaking up in a platonic relationship. And I feel like the platonic relationship probably hurt more than the romantic relationship, because it's like, as a woman, I expect these men to play with me, but I ain't never expect you as my homegirl to leave me. You were supposed to be down for whatever. You were supposed to ride thick and thin. We supposed to, my girlfriends there through thick and thin. Like, where is your loyalty at, girl? Like, I think that the platonic friendships hurt worse because you the person, or you're the community that I've chosen and cultivated and been sometimes even more intimate with emotionally than a man. And I feel like we're our most authentic selves with our girlfriends, because with guys, you gotta guard up a little bit, or sometimes you don't fully ever really trust them a little bit. But with your friends, at least with me, I have been always like an open book with my homegirls and my girlfriends. So for me, platonic relationships hurt, and platonic breakups hurt way worse than the romantic ones, because I was rooting for us, girl. What happened? And I also feel like, and this just might be the optimistic Brii in me, but I be giving women more chances than I give men. And I don't know if that's because I was raised by more women or what, but I will give my homegirls way more chances than I'll give a man to play with me. And my homegirl can spin the block before my man or ex could. So it does hurt worse when you really got to put your foot down and be like, you know what? We really can't rock with each other no more. Like, we're really not on the same page. And that be hurting me. That I really have had to like navigate those in this season, and to have to go through both at the same time was like, like I got ran over by a car, and then the car backed up and ran over me again in reverse. I was like, damn. But, you know, I'm taking each with a grain of salt and moving forward gracefully. I actually had to end romantic and platonic relationship recently, both, that have people. I actually had to end both a romantic and platonic relationship recently with people that I had in my life for years. So it was really hard to move on because, again, I had so much history with these people and I had so much vision of what the future could look like with these people, whether it was a friendship or a romantic relationship. And it was really hard to like step away from that. I feel like, especially with the friendship, well, really both of them, because they were both very public. Like, my relationship was very public, my friendship was very public, and everybody knew me in some type of way attached to these people. So it was like really hard to detach myself from them. And when people in the public try to mention these people, it's very hard to speak on them and not talk about the hurt that is attached to it and be graceful, because at the end of the day, I'm the type of person where if I love you, I love you. And even if we have to go our separate ways and it no longer works out, I still loved you at one point. So I'm not going to talk completely bad about that experience, because I chose those experiences. I chose those people. I picked those people to be in my life. So it's really hard. And I feel like I had to redefine who I was as a woman, and aside from the romantic relationship, I had to define and reestablish my brand, because I feel like I chose to put that relationship in the public eye and vlog about it and post about it all the time. So I felt like I started to lose a little bit of myself with that. And when I had to separate myself, I feel like I had to redefine my brand and reintroduce myself to the world of who I was as a woman and who my brand as Brii Renee was, aside from this person, before this person, and after this person, who I'm always going to be. So I had to redefine that and redefine who I am as a woman and my brand publicly when it came to my romantic relationship ending. But then with my platonic relationship, I felt like I had to redefine what friendship and sisterhood really meant to me. I had to decide, like, all right, yeah, this might look cute for the gram, or yeah, these relationships might, get good content, but at the end of the day, the sisterhood and the friendships that matter most to me are going to be the people who are there for me in the toughest times, and who, like I said, who going to ride with me just like I'm going to ride with them, and who are going to have my back just like I'm going to have theirs. So I really had to redefine in this same season what my personal brand looks like, who I am as a woman looks like, and who I am as a friend, and how I decide to show up as a friend, and what my standards are in friendship as well. I feel like a lot of people stay in relationships and friendships that they have outgrown out of comfort, familiarity, scared, out of fear. They're afraid to look like they failed. I know for me, towards the end of, especially my romantic relationship, when I knew that that relationship was no longer for me, I was so afraid to leave because I was afraid people were going to look at me as a failure. I was afraid that people were going to judge me, the fact that it didn't work out, or I was afraid to let people down. I felt like because I had let so many people in on that relationship, they had an idea of what it was or what it should be. And I was afraid to let them know that this ain't that and that ain't this. Okay, so I think that even if you aren't in a public, if you aren't a public figure or you in a public space, or if you don't post your relationship online, whether you got family members, friends, or people around you that know y'all are together, I think a lot of times people are afraid to leave, even though you know that it's not right for you anymore, because you're afraid of the scrutiny or having those tough conversations with the people that y'all have introduced yourselves to. And I think that you afraid to be real with yourself and grieve the vision that you had for y'all. Like, of course, when you in a romantic relationship, and I know women especially, we naturally plan our futures with people. Like, we could be on first date and we be like, will we have good kids? Or, you know what I'm saying? We naturally start to plan our lives with people. So I feel like the hardest part of a breakup is grieving the vision you had for y'all life together. And the fact that that plan ain't gonna work out. Like, in my head, I just knew we was about to be power couple, Beyonce, Jay-Z, whatever. You know, we come up with all these ideas in our head, and then the fact that they didn't work out like that, you be salty a little bit. You be salty. And it's okay to be like, you know what? God got something else for me. And I'm going to move according to his will and not my own. And trust me, he always going to have something better. He's always going to have something better, whether it's a friendship or a relationship, whatever it is, it's going to be better than you ever expected if you just trust God. I feel like you know when it's time to leave a relationship when you no longer feel like yourself. When you feel like you have to shrink yourself or silence yourself, or you swallowing more than what you can really take, or you're compromising your peace. These are all signs that it's time to leave. Like, we only get one life to live, and we all deserve to be happy. And I'm not saying every relationship is going to be happy all the time, but if you feel like you have to compromise your integrity, your dignity, and your peace for a relationship, that's not for you. And it's time to pack it up, babe. Wrap it up. It's a wrap. I feel like some silent signals that a relationship is no longer aligned with you are constant miscommunication, feeling drained, always arguing. You feel like y'all just ain't celebrating each other no more. You feel like it's not reciprocated, or nothing is reciprocated, or you feel like y'all are in constant competition, whether it's good or bad. Like, it should be healthy. Of course, you want to cheer somebody on, but if you're in competition for who the most tired or you know what I'm saying? Like, it gets to be so petty. I feel like these are signs that the relationship is over. Another silent sign is when you feel like you're constantly betraying yourself. I feel like a lot of women do this. Like, we will betray or put our true desires, wishes, or intuition aside to stay in a relationship. And if you feel like you got to betray yourself, that's a sign that it's time to leave, babe. I feel like one thing that I wish I had learned sooner is how to end on a positive note with compassion and clarity, with being honest without being harsh, with being clear with myself and honest with the other person without being nasty to each other. I feel like one thing that I have to work on and that I deign to work on moving forward is that if and when relationships have to end, whether it's friendship or whatever, I feel like I had to wait until it got really, really bad. And even though you knew it should have been over before that, you had to wait till somebody did something, or you had to wait till it was a big argument to be like, all right, I'm out. But it's like, you could have did that in a healthy space. Like, y'all could have had a real honest, clear conversation like, hey, I don't feel like you're happy. I don't feel like I'm happy. I don't feel like my needs are being met. I don't feel like your needs are being met. Clearly they aren't. We aren't meeting eye to eye. Let's just leave. Now, that's the mature thing to do. I have not reached that point yet, but I'm not speaking from experience, but I want to get to the point where before relationships get volatile or to the point where we just hate each other and can't stand each other and just don't ever want to speak again, I don't want to get to that point. I want to get to the point where we are being clear about what needs are not being met and how we're misaligned, and moving away respectfully, and not it being a blowout argument, whether it's romantic or platonic. Like, we don't have to cuss each other out and fall out and it be this drag out fight. It's just like, hey, we both knew how we were feeling before we got to this boiling point. And I think being honest about that up front will save so much energy and time in the healing process. And I really want to be that mature person that says like, hey, I love you. I value the space that you've held in my life. And I also honor where we're at now. And this no longer serves us. And let's move forward without damaging the positive image that we have of each other. I feel like that would be like the healthy thing to do. So I'm gonna work on that. And I feel like y'all work on that too. Looking for the perfect space to bring your vision to life? Welcome to Visionaire Production Studios, where creativity meets capability. With over 10 dynamic sets, including a fully equipped kitchen set, we're built for creators, brands, and dreamers who don't just want content, they want cinema. Whether you're shooting a podcast, cooking show, campaign, or content series, we've got the space and the team to help you make magic and bring any vision to life. If you can see it, we can help you shoot it. Let's turn your vision into production at Visionaire Production Studios. I feel like what I've struggled with is I might know that somebody is not for me, or I might know this relationship is no longer working. But instead of having a conversation about it, I'll wait till they do something, or we get into an argument and it's a big blowout for us to end it. And now it's like, well, you did this and now it's over. But I've been felt like it should have been over, or you've been felt like it should have been over. And we never communicated that because we felt like we didn't have a reason to break up. But the reason should be that our gut and intuition is telling us that we're not aligned. So it's not that I'm saying we should be fake positive about it. I'm just saying, don't wait till it get to the point of no return to end it. You can end it. You can break up with somebody simply because this is not enough. You don't have to break up with them just because they cheated, or just because, God forbid, somebody put their hands on you. Like, whatever, it don't have to be the worst case scenario to break up. You can break up in a healthy way, I feel like, by just being honest about this is not working and this is not it. And you don't have to be positive about it. You can be honest about your feelings, but it don't have to be violent or negative, like drain. It could be just straight up like, I'm honoring myself. And anytime you're honest about how you feel and you stand on it, you're honoring yourself. So I feel like honor yourself in way of knowing that this is not enough. I don't have to wait till you cheat on me, put your hands on me, call me out my name, or disrespect me. This is just not enough. And I'm no longer choosing to accept this. And I honor what we had, but I'm also honoring the fact that this is no longer where I choose to be. And stand on it, sis. Boundaries after a breakup are really important. And boundaries don't have to look like I hate you or I'm doing something to hurt you. Boundaries are what I'm doing to protect my peace. So it could look like anything from complete no contact. And I feel like the more you were connected to somebody, friendship or relationship, that's probably the best route is to go at least 30 to 45 days, no contact, cold turkey. Let's just not speak at all. Because you have to undo that system y'all had, whether it's calling each other, you have to undo that system y'all had, whether it's calling each other every day or falling asleep on the phone, whatever that routine y'all had, you have to undo it. So a good 30 to 45 days cold turkey will always be what's best. I think the more you're connected to each other. And boundaries are really just a radical way of having self-respect for yourself. And it's showing each other like, this is how things will be moving forward, whether it's cold turkey or redefining how you choose to stay in contact. Like some people have children together. So, hey, we're no contact in this way, but if we need to talk about the kids, let's put it through text, or let's only like setting those boundaries, whatever that looks like for you guys. If you are going to stay in contact, being clear about that and not just being rude about it. You know what I'm saying? Or just enforcing it in the midst of it. Be clear about what the new boundaries are. Set them, stand on them, and then move forward that way. And again, like I said, it's not about being rude or nasty to the other person. It's about protecting your own peace. I feel like social media is the hardest part of navigating breakups. I personally feel like unfollow if you got a block so you don't see them watching your stories or whatever. Do whatever you got to do for you. But me, I choose to unfollow. I also choose to mute. Like, you know how you can type in keywords? I don't want to see these keywords on my page. And I feel like it's going to be really hard, especially if you are very public, because, again, people, it's not your job to update social media about y'all breaking up or about y'all no longer being friends or whatever the situation is. So be prepared that people are going to mention it when they find out. I personally delete those comments. I'm deleting you because this is my page. So if you want to check on them or talk about them, go to their page. I do that. Like I said, I go through and mute those certain words so you can't talk about them. And I just ask that respect my peace, okay? When you go to your family cookout, you don't want your grandmama asking you about nobody they ain't seeing you with. So don't ask me about nobody you don't see me with. And I think that if we all just treated each other with a little bit more kindness and compassion on social media, the world would be a better place, but we're not going to have that. And I don't care what them people saying on social media. Don't tag me. Please don't. But I also feel like and I'm being honest and transparent, I don't feel like I navigated that very well after my breakup and friendship breakups. I feel like speaking negatively about these people online is not the best way to go about it, because again, it just adds more people into y'all business. It adds more fuel to the fire, more opinions that you got to read. And then also, you chose, I looked in the mirror and was like, you chose them people to be a part of your life. So let's not talk bad about those experiences, because at one point you loved the hell out those experiences. So why are you bashing it now? And it's not cool to talk negatively about those people, whether it's romantic or platonic, because again, these are people that you was rocking with. You chose them in your life. These are not your family members. You chose these people. So choose better, choose wiser, and shut the fuck up. Breakups have taught me a lot about how I love not just others, but myself. Like, I had to learn that there is no forever love except for me. Like, I am the only person I will love forever. And maybe if I have kids, maybe them. And then like my mama, I'ma always love her. But other than like family, friendships, and relationships, and even with your mom, like, or your kids, like, one of y'all gonna have to die. So it's not gonna be forever. Somebody forever gonna get cut short. And I realized that I love so hard. Like, I know people say that, like, I love so hard, but I love so deep that I can sometimes lose myself in my love for people. And I don't think that's a good thing. So I have been learning to love myself more by saying, hey, I got to love me so much that I don't ever lose me again when it comes to loving somebody. And I realized that real love does always include boundaries. Like, I do believe in like a certain type of unconditional love, but love should be conditional at the same time. Like, my love is conditional on how well you respect me, how much you love me. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a certain boundaries that come to the conditions of my love. And like, loving unconditionally doesn't mean no matter what, through unhealthiness or betrayal, things like that. Like, you have to love yourself enough to choose you no matter what, if that means, you know, that you aren't being loved correctly. Y'all, loving after a breakup, romantically or platonically, is scary as fuck. Okay? It's scary, but I feel like I had to open my heart up more slowly and with more discernment. And I also realized that nobody, no matter how hard the breakup is, no matter how much time or history you have with somebody, no matter how much love you gave that person, they do not deserve to dictate how you love moving forward. If you say like, I'm never loving again, I'm never gonna open up my heart, and you're literally letting that person win and dictate your life moving forward. And they don't deserve that. This is your love story. This is your heart. This is your life. So why would you close yourself off to because of people that you're no longer allowing in your life? Like, you already let them go. You trusted yourself enough to let them go. You have to know that you'll be able to trust yourself again to know who to love and who to let go if you have to let go again. And I feel like just love, I'm loving wholeheartedly with discernment. Okay, not being stupid, but loving wholeheartedly, loving it while it lasts. And if it doesn't work out, guess what? I've been through enough breakups, friendships, and romantic that I know that I'll be okay. I'm just gonna pick myself up and move the fuck on. Like, life goes on and you'll be okay. I promise you. Once you've been through one, you can get through another. And no matter how bad it hurt, it kind of feels like once your heart break real hard, ain't never gonna break that hard again. Now, I don't know, because I ain't been there and I don't want God to prove me wrong. But I'm just saying, like, I feel like you'll be okay once you get through that. Once you get past it and you open to dating again, you'll know, like, all right, I ain't feeling nobody play with me again. I know that for a fact. And you love it while it lasts and give it all your best while you can. And when it's time to go, you'll know. Trust yourself. If you know it's time to break up and you scared to do it, trust yourself. Okay? You can be okay. You have made it through 100% of all your hard times. You are still standing. I promise you that being alone is a temporary feeling, and you will learn to love being alone. You will learn to love yourself, and you deserve a love that makes you feel good. And you deserve to love yourself so much that another person is an addition, and you're not attached to that picture that you have of yourself in your mind of who you are with that person. Love yourself regardless, and love yourself enough to know when it's time to go. Trust yourself. You got it. And stand up. Okay? Girl, stand up. What Gloria say? Go stand the fuck up and stop crying about these niggas. Go outside and stop smiling on these niggas. Get up. Okay? Get up. One belief about breakups that I let go of is that letting go means failure. I did not fail. I learned so many valuable lessons. And one thing that I will always hold on to is that every ending is a beautiful beginning. And that beginning often leads you back to yourself. And that's most important. Okay, guys, every episode I invite you guys to submit questions that you would like my advice on, and you could always do so under any of my YouTube vlogs or these podcast episodes. Of course, you can DM me or email me, all right? So this question comes from my YouTube cousin. Again, shout out to all the cousins that's been locked in. I love y'all so much. Like, we family at this point. But anyways, this is from all the things. They said, I don't know if you a guy or a girl, because all the things is very platonic. They said, do you feel like your friendships or idea of friendship has changed as you've gotten older? Of course I have. I feel like my idea of friendship when I was younger used to be like, okay, she cute, I'm cute, we cool. Or we like to do the same thing, so we homies. Or, even in school, we got third period together. Like, it was so, or we both on the cheerleading team, so you my friend. You know what I mean? It was so, or, you know what I'm saying, who's nice. It was very surface. And I feel like I am the low maintenance friend. I have always been, but even as the low maintenance friend, my value or what I feel like makes you my friend has grown, because now I look at friendships as like, who gonna show up for me? Especially since I've been through seasons of like family hardships and ups and downs and loss and grief and all these things. The people who I consider friends are the ones who are pouring into me, the ones who are gonna be a listening ear when I need, the ones who call and check on me when I am afraid to even say I need to be checked on. Like, I got a homegirl, shout out to you, Charlie. we met at the gym. And of course, I'm like, this is my homegirl because we have a good time at the gym. But over time, she's shown me that she's really a friend because she calls me and checks on me if she sees like, hey, I noticed you ain't been at the gym for a few days. You all right? You good? Or, hey, I noticed that today's the day that your homegirl passed. And I see that you and your other friends are posting about her. I just wanted to see if you're okay because I'm not the type of person that's going to ask for help. So I value the people who reach out to me when I need it or when I don't even know that I need it. I think that has been one of the biggest things that I have changed about what friendship is. And the people who are, again, believing in me when I doubt myself and that are aligned with me. Like I said, I used to be friends with people who I worked in the club with just because we worked in the club together. But then once I'm like, dang, this person not really trying to grow, I really can't consider them a friend or stay at that level of friendship with them because when I talk to them, they make me feel drained or like I'm being a lesser version of myself or we don't really have much to connect on anymore. So these are some of the ways how my idea of friendship has grown and evolved over the years. So, it's time for our Trapfirmation. And our Trapfirmation is an affirmation that we got to keep all the way true. So if you don't like cursing, close your ears because this one got something in here, okay? And this one is, of course, on the topic of breakups because that's what we talking about. And it's something I had to tell myself through all my breakups, okay? I said, been a bad bitch, always going to be a bad bitch and never going to let nobody treat me like I'm average. And I know my worth, and if you don't, you can hit the door, okay? And I feel like that's self-explanatory. Whether you feel like a bad bitch or not, when you're going through that breakup, you are the baddest bitch you'll ever know. Why? Because you get through everything that you've ever been through. You always gonna overcome. You're always gonna stand back up. Go get your hair done. Go get your nails done. Go do your lashes. Do whatever you gotta do to make you feel cute. Go get in the gym. Take care of yourself. Drink your water. Eat right. And just get back out there. And don't ever let nobody treat you like you not that girl because you are. Or that guy. Because if you out there, you going through a breakup too. Fellas, you it too. Like, don't let nobody treat you like you average, especially when you treating yourself like you above. Don't let nobody treat you like you below. Okay? So get up. And if they don't realize your worth, they got to hit the door. All right, guys. This has been another amazing episode of Better with Brii Renee. I hope that from this, you have found a better way of dealing with breakups, whether it's romantic or platonic. I hope that we are moving forward with grace and you giving each other grace, not only yourselves, but those that are dealing with these things as well. And give me some. Get out my comments. Okay? No, just wait. But I love y'all. Thank y'all for watching this episode. If you made it to the end, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Listen to us everywhere that you can listen to podcasts audibly. And of course, stay tuned for another episode of Better with Brii Renee. Bye, guys.